Hello, people. Good afternoon. So here we are back with another exciting session. So I guess whole bunch of requests were coming to me regarding DevOps, internship, job opportunities, and what I can say means every single day today the talk of town is the word called DevOps, words called cloud, words called Linux administrators, system admins, and many more. So I was trying to figure it out that how I can help whole bunch of community that who strive to get the jobs or to get the request that, hey, I want to join the companies and I want to get a start internship programs where I can leverage my skill sets that I can be a renowned industry expert. So I tried to reach out a couple of them, and I'm fortunate that I have someone who has a whole vast of experience where he has been meeting a lot of industry leaders out there in the market and also celebrating his success with his own venture now. So today's guest is Mr. Deepak Mishra, sorry, for this podcast. He started his journey and he stepped into in the industry in the year of 2000, and slowly and gradually he went to a step-by-step ladder of server support specialist. Then he went to a tech lead in an organization. Then within over a year of success, he also reached out to a stage where he happens to be a AVP for Bank of America for certain products, and then in the ANZ Bank, he happens to be a product owner for IaaS services. And what so means I cannot enumerously count his roles that he have been going through. And latestly, he has started his own venture named Prodevans, where he is helping the young minds to achieve their goals. I see Deepak sir as a visionary leader who has a lot of experience in the industry because he have been working on a lot of products. And whenever I talk to him, whenever I interact with him, the one thing I can assure you out of this podcast is that yes, he can guide you what you should learn. We will talk about his journey, how he reached to a level where he thought of opening up his own firm, where he thought of that, yes, I can do it, and let's join the handful resources to turn out the what say a blur vision into a reality. And there he found on this Prodevans, and I guess I don't want to take much time. Let's bring him on the screen and let's hear his story and his thoughts that why Prodevans and why the students needs to do these internship and contribute to open source. So I welcome you, Deepak sir. Thank you on the screen. Thank you so much, Deepak sir. Cheers.
Hey Gaurav, yeah, hope I'm audible and cheers.
Yes.
I got my Prodevans mug with me.
Oh, nice. Thank you, Deepak sir, for being here. You have always been a key supporter to me. Whenever I have reached out to you, you have always ignited a new fire inside me. And as rightly said, that if you are in the right hand, if you are in the right guidance, definitely you can ignite your thoughts that you have. So we want to hear from you also that how's your journey have been in the industry and what are the key things that you look for to excite you.
So, first of all, congratulations for achieving another milestone, Gaurav. And I'm as passionate about you, but may not be to that record. Okay, what you have been achieving.
Uh,
Um, Yes, my journey. This question whenever it comes to me, uh, I always wanted to be as open as possible, as direct as possible, rather putting any coating to it. I started my career as a open source enthusiast, guy who visit colleges, academy, and set up their open source lab. Early 2000. That was the time. Okay, I used to carry a bag of CDs and toothpaste toothpaste not to brush, toothpaste to clean the CDs because it used to get stuck. So it started with that passion about technology since the day I started my career. The entrepreneurial seed was itself very beginning. when I realized I was a migrant to southern India, one of the big city, and did went through certain hardship to pick up the technology, especially when you are moving from a small town of eastern Odisha and come to a large city, right? You don't get those assets which will actually equip you to learn new technology. And in open source, okay, there was no such internet based program. So I felt that if I can educate, learn certain things, okay, watching others, and when I started liking it, I started a training business called
Mhm.
Complete Open Source Solutions India, and it consistently ranked among the top Red Hat partners in the country since 2003. Just few days back, we celebrated 17th anniversary, and that company grew. Initially it was a stealth mode, then it became a self-organized organization. um, Prodevans Technologies is a technology service consulting company that was started few years back, after I spent almost 2 decade journey in technology management. You called out some banks. Yes, there were some of the world's largest and ACS largest bank. So there was some degree of confidence that there is a shortage of skilled professional in consulting, especially in India. So when I've seen, I used to travel a lot, especially for design solutions or change the mindset in transformation. Um, in India, if you need to do so, you need to be confident, and you need to be confident with your skills. So there was a need to invest on this particular side of consulting, and that is the biggest opportunity in front of us, and I capped that opportunity. And in last 3 years, I think we have grown 167%, year on year. And whatever you see is all history.
So it is rightly said. I believe you will also convey my thoughts that the earlier you start, the earlier will you will be able to see the results. And talking specifically about the southern side of Bangalore, as we say that it is the good on's country, on the other side, in today's world, we are also referring it to the societal state of IT. And like the societal state of learning is happens to be called as if I would say the कोटा राजस्थान कि बच्चे पढ़ना
Mhm.
गया और वहां पर जाके बहुत लोग डिप्रेशन में आते ही हैं. On similar thing, when we talk about starting the like the technical field or the IT field, Bangalore is the key hub. And now you working as a like the prominent person who helps a whole bunch of people around, definitely you must be encountering a lot of students requests talking about internship and others. What is the like the most useful advice you would love to give to the students, because this is what we are talking today, take the tougher route today to lead an easier tomorrow. So how you see this untraveled role, that students should travel or not, or what are the precautions they can always take?
Yeah, means I have many such undocumented mantras.
Okay,
I think I shared a presentation with you. If you can bring it up,
I'll bring it on the
uh,
screen.
that would help. I have been, seeing your channel, and I think a lot of your audience are the young talent, right?
Yes.
If you can take me to the first mantra, is what I took it from Gautam Buddha. So there are yeah. So these are some,
Yeah,
yeah.
here it is.
Yeah. So there are two mistakes one can make along the road to truth. not going all the way and not starting. That is something which I personally felt uh, in my corporate career, that when you when you know that okay, you have to take a call at one time, and you need to come out of that comfort zone, and not taking that step for years, um, that hindrance will make you heavy, and that will not let you move, that will not let you take any chances, right? So when I was reading this article, uh, when see, we are human, correct?
Right.
And God has given us different emotions, different ways to do things. So when we want to live the life creatively, and at a best interest of your family, of yourself, and of your society, and not seeing the toughness, I would feel like okay, you have not enjoyed the most. And having a fear of mistakes, I would say that okay, if you didn't do mistakes, whether it is a beautiful mistake or amazing mistake, I would say that okay, you have not lived the life. If you didn't have a roller coaster going through extremely high position in a bank, or in some large organization, and extremely low, like starting an organization ground up, and not seeing the uncertainty at some time, I think you will not live that life what one ideally should have enjoyed. So,
Right.
if you ask me with certain confidence, I may promise you that if you go down that easy road, it may not be the best decision. Rather, if you take the road which is bit bit of challenging, bit of unusual, where not everybody follow, but that doesn't mean okay, you will not see somebody like a monk sitting on the road, or some mentor coming on your way and helping you. You will definitely come across those beautiful people in your life who will actually lift you up, and will take you on that path. So,
Right.
that's my way of interpreting the life of taking a toughness, than being in an easy path, in a comfort zone, what ideally everybody has already seen many a times. And that in corporate life, coming out of that zone is very, very difficult. But once you come out, you're much relaxed. I'm very relaxed nowadays.
I guess this reminded me of famous saying that uh, do what is right, not easy. So I guess this quote made me thinking back again that you should do the things right, not the easy way. So yeah.
Yeah, means just to take it from there, I would say that um, it's not like you should not be making it simplified, but
Mhm.
you should also take the path which is which actually make you more stronger, right? It actually make you more determined, more creative, right? So that is very exciting in
Yes.
anybody's life.
Right. So let's take on to the next thing that what you have for us.
Yeah, means this is again a continuation of that reading. So you come across a lot of books which talks about unlearn and relearn, right? But when we grow up in the ladder in corporate, we we keep carry that legacy, history, and that persona of managing large people, right?
Right.
And when the world is changing in front of you, we tend to not adopt. So the four quadrant of change, I follow you, Gaurav, which you bring the mythology stories, right? Rama, Vishnu, Shiva. So how will I put it? Yeah. So if I have to say, Rama, let you think to create something new habit in you, right? And
Hmm.
creating a new habit in you, that is your learning, correct? And that cannot happen unless, you know Shiva says you unlearn.
Yes.
You eliminate something, from your back of, or that history or whatever it is.
Hmm.
Then Vishnu, tell you to retain, right? He says that the resources what you have, and it's being working well,
Yes.
then you retain. Then
Right.
Buddha is saying, avidya means, you you actually have to combine all these, and be calm, being composed, listen to others, right? So for me, you know learning has been very, very continuous. And when you grow older, you guys deal with very young people. When I get older, change is, sometimes tough. And when you deal with a lot of people in your company, and you need everybody to change, all
Yes.
these tools or the equipments are needed in your life to apply.
Definitely. This remind me of that a quote which I keep on saying to myself, that nobody can go back and start the new beginning, but anybody can start today and make a new ending. And for all those new endings, you have to sometime learn, unlearn, and relearn as well, because learning is a continuous process. So definitely yes. So avidya is definitely, I want to explore a more on that part for sure.
Yeah, I just
And
recently, got it from one of my, I can't call him as a mentor. He's younger than me, but I learn a lot from him.
no, definitely, definitely. And I have wonderful peoples watching us. So, guys, please feel free to post down the question. And towards the end of our learning, we will take on some of the questions from Deepak sir, that how what he thinks. If you want to know about internship opportunities, Prodevans, and many other things, just feel free to put down in the comments, and I'll try to ask few of them towards the end of our session. So, Deepak sir, I was talking and was looking at this part, specialist and journalist. How you think that students can easily relate and what they should be doing in this way?
Yeah, so when I spoke to you about the topic you invited,
Yes,
and that made me think that, okay, what should I convey?
yes,
I have been watching youngsters, and especially, Prodevans is, uh, place for youngsters. Means we do crazy stuff, and
yes,
I sometimes don't understand, okay, how, these guys actually do things so quietly, so easily. At the same time, I have seen, people when we interview, means a lot of people come to me, come to us saying that, okay, I possess this skill, and they advertise the skill on LinkedIn, 20 different certifications, 20 different logos, 20 different, skills, and they are in a rush, they are in a hurry of grabbing things. I think last recently you tried to break that myth of world record. Um, so so I thought, okay, I should talk about why you need to be a specialist, but that doesn't mean you will not be starting with a generalist, right? uh,
yes,
when I was growing in my career, there was no mentor for me. There was no, specific qualification which I did qualify, to get a job. But I happened to, work in the best companies of the world, the largest data center of the world I have worked. I might have done, the quickest migration ever anybody would have done, like 3,500 systems in a 3 month time. Uh, you know, and those days we believed in that full stack. Now you guys say, right, okay, full stack engineer. So we were doing everything, ground up, rack stack, all the way to the UAT or ATP, getting the sign off from the customer. So generalist and specialist I have lived through, and I
Mhm.
have, I can say that the advantages and not so good things about each. So, for example, when you are picking up your foundation basics, right? So you should also understand the holistic view, the 360 degree view of the technology. For example, the hardware, virtualization, operating system, library, then programming construct, configuration management, then deployment, then exposing the IP or URL or API, then load balancer. So you need to understand the holistic view, and that is generalist. So generalist will actually get you to know every component of the large ecosystem. If you look at a bank, you swipe your card, and within few seconds, through the straight through processing, you get a message, OTP, and you key in the OTP, and the amount is debited, or receive a amount which is credit. So understanding the whole ecosystem um, will actually make you become, the specialist. But at the same time, if you don't know, the broader skill set, the skill
Right.
set which has a career flexibility. So generalist will give you the flexibility to adopt, the skill set, between hardware virtualization to a programmer to a means to a, automation guy to a, integrator to a, network guy. So it will actually give you the flexibility between the fields, or I would say transferable skills. Okay. And that flexibility is needed in every startup. So when I run a startup, I cannot afford to have only specialists in my company. I must have generalists who can become a specialist over a period of time.
Right.
So I welcome the mindset as a generalist. So the young kids, it's easy to mold them between technologies and let them learn. But at the same time, if you have a mentor who help them to connect the dots and
Yes.
tell them the large ecosystem, right? How, in Bank of America, the bankofamerica.com, underneath we had about 36,000 systems, right?
Mhm.
And we had blue pod, green pod, blue green deployment, what you, and I'm talking to 2010, 11. So our project was Phoenix, and that time there was no DevOps, there was no, but the design was made in such a way that, each patch deployment was not impacting the 24 cross 7, liveness of the banking site. So so you need somebody to connect the enterprise dots while you are the generalist, okay, in a company. And startups, are the best place to accommodate that thrive energy, to build multiple skill knowledges, and it is very flexible one.
Yes.
The the the, the other side of generalist is it actually do not build the mastery depth, you know and tomorrow if you want to secure your career. For example, I'm a hardcore Linux guy, so I used to give challenges to people, wiping out the bootloader, wiping out the file system, wiping out the boot block, and we used to still recover the system in a very fundamental way, right? And today I still possess that skill. If there is something down in my organization or in my customer organization, I will roll up my sleeve and sit on it, right? So specialist is like you should also have one domain or couple of domain skill which will make you competitive advantage, make you more secure with respect to the job, and earn you highest when you are a specialist. For example, you are a Kubernetes specialist or OpenShift specialist, or you are an automation specialist, or you are a development specialist. So if you are a specialist or integration specialist, so if you're a specialist, it actually overcome that job insecurity, and you should be able to become high demand. Okay, you would be that go-to expert guy in your company. You gain a lot of respect,
Right.
and it also gets you more money, increase income. And as a leader, one must have few specialists, means
Right.
few special domains.
Right.
So this is my view about the youngsters. You have to accommodate both, right? In a startup, in a small organization, you should play the role of the flexible, knowledge seeker, and flexible, skill adopter. And when you grow up in the ladder, you should become a specialist over a period of time, and don't stick to one particular this thing, so that you hit the ceiling and you don't see the growth at all. So the moment you hit the ceiling as a specialist, you should become generalist, then break the ceiling, and again become a specialist. So that is how one should see the growth, in self and in an organization.
Getting it right means, to be just to summarize, what I can easily learn from this conversation is that a specialist was once a generalist and keep on doing the same stuff once after the other as well. So that is absolutely cool. Talking about these two things, like when you are into the generalist specialist mindset, there will be definitely a whole bunch of roads in front of you. And I was looking at this and I was trying to understand that what you are trying to guide us on that part. So your views on this, sir?
Yeah. So it's a poem
Yeah.
from Robert Frost, who which is very famous poem, many years old, and people have used it to its extreme in advertisement. You might have seen, advertisement like Mentos car advertisement, in New
Yes.
Zealand. So so it's being used the way one can interpret, right? So Robert says that I took the one which is less traveled by, and that made all the difference. But he didn't
Yes.
say that the other road was not to be traveled, right?
Yeah.
So is the way you look at decision making. So when deciding between the generalist and specialist career path, um, you as a person, right? You should first ask, what am I getting out of it? What's my goal? So if you don't have that goal and you are taking a road, um, you have an idea, but you should also have a target. Okay, so have an idea that, okay, I will be doing something, and just by bringing ideas time and again and not getting it to a logical closure will not take you anywhere. So when you
Yes.
have a two road in front of you and you have to take a decision, um, you should ask, well, what happens if this, what happen if that, um, it may hurt me, it may take time. So if that is something which is scaring you, and you don't take a decision quickly, or you are confused, always coming back and forth, uh, then I would remember, stay present, and bring some mentorship, or some someone to guide you to take that path, and build that foundation in your life, so that it doesn't trouble you much, while choosing a journey of one path versus the other. But Robert didn't say that, okay, the path which I took was the best and the other was not. So I wanted to convey this. So
Yes.
when you are always on a fork road,
Mhm.
um, it's either way to look at things, but look up to somebody who can actually mentor. And
Yes.
nowadays, I look up to young guys, I look up to some senior guys who actually help me in those decision making.
I guess you brought out a very good point, and our audience, one of the viewers, Shitij, has put down this question: journalist and then the specialist, or specialist and then the journalist? How would you take that?
um, Foundation, guys, foundation, fundamental foundation is something which is the base for to become a journalist, or generalist, or a specialist. So build a foundation, build a strong foundation which will actually that pillar gives you a lot of strength in your life, no matter what tool technology changes in the world. If you're on your career, this thing, I have seen, like, my 21 years, I have not seen operating system Linux going anywhere.
Yes.
So so fundamental is what you should start with. uh, don't be on that rush. Today AI, ML, yesterday, Ansible, something on Kubernetes, but you forgot to spend a decent time on Linux operating system, process, memory, file system. If you or similarly on the data structure programming, logic. So spend or invest your first few months building the foundation, and keep always with the foundation. And generalist, specialist, you keep switching as you move in your journey.
Absolutely correct. And this remind me of one thing, sir. When I interacted you for the first time, I still remember that we were standing in the Prodevans office, and I said the similar line of a question that if I see that in next 20 years, what the industry will be working on, and you gave me that nice prescription, being just like a technical doctor, if I would say, that you said that place your bet on something called open source. You just place your bet and everything will be there for you, because at that point of time, I guess I consider myself as a journalist and still I'm learning. So what is your take on open source, how it helped any individual to grow in their career, or how it has helped you to discover a better version of yourself?
I would ask whom it didn't help.
In that way, yes. Okay.
So definitely it helped me. When I didn't like anything to study, one thing which really excited me is that, it was the principle behind open source.
Right.
And in Hyderabad, I used to participate in some debates, and the recent controversy, if you would have heard about Richard Stallman, you know, so Richard used to visit Hyderabad Osmania University, and we used to have free open discussion, right? And the free software foundation and open source means it never went along, but so there is a freedom from the monopoly of commercial software,
Mhm.
um, that's FSF, and there is a movement of developers to make something commercially viable out of community, that is open source. So
Right.
free software foundation is something which is a freedom from monopoly of commercial softwares. But open source means it's it's a collaboration, it's a negotiation of multiple mind coming together, and develop things for an enterprise, or making it enterprise viable or adoptable. So that is why I said, come on, you are not joining politics, you are actually joining, to learn things, to excel things for an organization. So if your organization is growing, then you also get to see the growth, and you see a career graph supporting you.
Right.
But if you're political, then you will be controversial. So my way of looking at open source is, that collaborative mind, and I was very passionate. I used to, so a lot of people ask, okay, where do I start?
Right.
And for the young kids, I would suggest develop 2 to 3 skill set. You know, install Git on your personal computer, have a GitHub account, try document anything and everything what you want to communicate onto GitHub. Let it be a small hello world program, and try and see if anyone contribute. Means I'm not literally picking hello world, but if you want to contribute, don't be impassionate about not having patience at all, that, oh, I have coded and somebody should merge my code into the
Mhm.
main branch, and my code goes like, no, that doesn't happen, right? You need to have patience, you need to watch others. So the first thing is pick up your personal git command to GitHub, and help troubleshooting some existing bugs. So any community project you are on, you want to contribute, try, instead of try coding, you try solving. When you start solving 3 to 4 5 6 problems, then you commit your code, and you look for a new feature to be merged into the master branch.
Mm.
People will take you seriously. So
Right.
uh, that's the way I would suggest the beginners.
Right. Awesome. So, taking a step ahead, that I believe this is the survey that you and me, or even in our working domain, we talk about every single day. And also, while I interact to a lot of young people out there, talking about DevOps or talking about system administrators, nowadays it is a buzz. For sure, it is a buzz that people are taking, and these numbers, what do you think that at this point of time, you just mentioned that you just install Git, create account, put down a project, and see if somebody is liking it or not? Do you think that industry IT skills managers are also looking for such open source talented people?
Uh, yeah, means if I'm an IT manager, means I remember a project. We were setting up the container platform for a bank, and the top 3 vendors in India, I would say world, they're the largest supplier of manpower, and we were not getting a single resource back in 2017. We were not getting a single engineer or DevOps engineer who knew how to set up a multi data center container platform, and even the OEMs were not having a great level of clarity. So what we ended up doing is reskilling our staff, and hired a pretty young talent, and prepared them. So if I take that date and even today, when I'm means I'm on a very aggressive hiring spear, and that doesn't mean I hire anybody and everybody, right? So we ask very basic, fundamental questions in Linux,
Mhm.
um, and that is must. For example, I was interviewing a JBoss administrator or developer. Asked, okay, if you receive a war file or jar file, and you don't know the absolute path, can you tell me, where that file is? I'll just give you the name. And he or she was not able to answer instantly, or it's very fundamental. Or you're talking to a Linux L2 engineer, and he's not able to tell you a answer, how to clean up the space, right? When the file system is full. So first thing is, every company is looking at Linux as the fundamental skill in every role. Okay. uh, and the numbers may not be correct, because every year I usually pick up these numbers which is published by KPMG or IDC. So it may not be exactly the worldwide number, but more than 80%, I would say, would be willing to hire if you are a very good Linux resource, a good Linux resource, or a decent Linux resource.
Right, right.
DevOps skill set for me is more of a culture between the developer and the ops engineer. So if you're a developer, pick up the ops engineer skill set. If you're an ops engineer, pick up the developer skill set, because if you are only on one path, uh, you will not be taken for the ride if it is a new project or new platform. So
Getting it right.
definitely that is something which is very very emerging area, where you have to pick up, and that's a cultural thing. So there are certain skill set we tend to ignore. For example, story writing, means user story writing, sizing the story, even though in a system administration, migration, large projects. So those are also certain skills which the IT manager look at, apart from your core fundamental command skill set and programming skill set.
Right. I guess our viewers are enjoying our conversation, and I can see a whole bunch of questions also popping out. So, if you ask me, Deepak, talking about the digital transformation definitely requires a skill transformation as well. And that is the key part that we were discussing before we jump onto this topic. You have seen the exponential growth in the mindset. You just talked about that in 2000, and when you started, DevOps was just a cultural word that we used to adopt. And I believe by seeing these numbers, we can definitely predict the future of DevOps is going to be outshine more and more. So, what is that key advice you give as a CEO of Prodevans to all the young minds that this is something that you should do, or these are the different industry roles that they should work on, or how they should train themselves to be acquired by any of the companies?
So as the CXO of a company, means definitely the the metric what you see is still 2018, but 2019 and 2020 and 2021, especially after pandemic, when the market has opened up, things have dramatically changing. The need of every customer expectations are changing. So digital transformation is must for every organization, right? You might have very recently, heard a news. IBM has asked the entire, development to be shifted onto OpenShift,
Yes.
right? Entire development except two technology. One among them is DB2. So if you exclude the mainframe, the entire, technology development has been shifted on Kubernetes or OpenShift. So if IBM, Microsoft today, the job market, you know for Microsoft and Microsoft partners and Microsoft customers are all on, you know Kubernetes, Linux, those areas. So as, any other big industry, means I'm not talking about a tech company, I'm also talking about um, the shipping company, retail company, e-commerce company, or so everybody is on that race to adopt digital transformation, and for them the biggest challenge is their own employee skill set.
Right.
Please understand, it's easy to go and pitch in a Gartner forum and say that, what, the company is going through a digital transformation, but when the change need to happen, you might be seeing in India a lot of banks are being, merged. So as an engineer or as a developer, do you know, when, thousands of branch merge, what the end application is going to be?
Yeah.
When, the banking is banking center less. So once upon a time I was heading the banking center, so I used to hear the challenges what the banking center employee and the customer used to get it to us. Now no one walks into the bank, so it's all remote banking or open banking. So open banking is a new, um, uh, transformation, because bank has never been a banking infrastructure, rather it is a collaboration between the partners and the technology and the consumer, right? So digital transformation in these large organizations, similarly in telecom, right? um, you have partners or the providers and the consumer and the technology. So digital transformation in each of these segment, um, the biggest challenge is the skill set, right? If you do Google, when Geo was setting up the first, 4G infrastructure, they did not find the skilled labor, skilled people. Forgive to use labor. So skilled people in India, and that's built on OpenStack, right? So the open network, OpenStack, that's the skill set, and we did not find, and people those who do, they charge a lot. At the same time, we have jobless among engineers. There are 50% of engineering's, seats are kept vacant, and people are not getting placed. So how will you bridge this gap? So the digital transformation need emerging skill set with foundation, knowledge and experience, and um, supply from India like country, which is the largest young population, not able to meet that demand. That scares me a lot, if you ask me, Gaurav. Uh,
Right, right. So we were discussing that these industry roles are in a very huge demand nowadays, talking about DevOps, developers, or I should say big data engineers, or the data scientists, or the digital application developers. And I guess our audience, somebody has also put it down a question, Dave specifically, that what is the problem that Prodevans Technologies is trying to solve? So are you also open up for these positions, or are you also hiring these industry specified roles?
I'll quickly answer, Gaurav, and I'm glad that you asked this question. So, Prodevans solve using technology and automation. We solve the problem which have been traditionally a constraint in an enterprise or in an organization.
Right.
Prodevans, Pro Dev provide the context for professionalism, technology, and ANS is stands for automation, innovation. Means when I was constructing the name, okay, ANS was for Ansible, and so our effort geared towards making organizations cloud ready. So if you come to Prodevans, what you will get to hear is we help the organizations to become cloud ready. We offer, the capability or the specialization for small, medium businesses, which are puzzled, which are not able to get that start. So we make them walk, run before they, call themselves as transformed and they're flying, right? So we help. That is what Prodevans does. In a simplified way, the large landscape which I was talking about, the industry, we simplify it. We guide the organizations to reap the benefit of the cloud through automation, especially automation.
So if I ask you, means definitely that's a great point to talk. And when you are trying to solve a problem, we definitely see that the whole bunch of things or obstacles comes in our way. And when we are trying to solve the technical challenges, do you want to also talk about something that are the highest paid, like paid skills, or these are something that everybody should be knowing? Or if somebody wishes to explore the career in, let's say, in DevOps or in big data or in project management, what are the skill sets that they should work on?
This is my personal belief that if I take care of the financial, aspiration of an employee,
Mhm.
reskilling, cross skilling is not a challenge. That's my belief, and that is what I've been pushing in my company. So
Yes.
money is something which everybody's necessity today, right? Because the gaps are increasing. So uh, I'm glad that you asked that question. And if you look at the emerging skill set and the most demanding technology, right? uh, I have picked this to distribute all the roles which previously you talked about, Gaurav, into these 4 5 large buckets, right? So all your technology which is related to the big data. So Linux is must, guys. Okay, I will not put Linux anywhere, but if you know Linux, but you also know setting up Apache Kafka or setting up an elastic search, make a ETL work on the Linux high availability system, or you could set up or process a NoSQL database, or you are automating some cloud resources which I talked about, cloud or container resources, on the cloud, private or public cloud, automation using Ansible, Terraform. Then everybody must have some project management skill set. Please don't look at on your dirty eyes into the project manager asking for a timesheet. I would say that okay, you should be self-managed. In my company, we don't have a project manager per se, right? So we let everybody manage, govern their own time, and they should be self-governed. So project management is one, especially lean, Six Sigma, or Scrum, right? Just do it, Kaizen principle, Scrum, or Agile Scrum. You must pick up some of these ways of self-managing your work. Developers who are UI UX developers, please focus on design skills. Please focus on design skills. So these will pay you the most, and no company would like to ignore you if you possess these skills. I personally say that okay, you should grow. Why 30%? You should grow 100% in your career every year.
So looking at these top paying skills means people, please do watch this out. I guess these are highly like demandable in the industry, and coming out of you talking about these skills, I guess they would have definitely a better view. Now, if I just talk to about the Prodevans specifically, now what is your take on Prodevans vision? That this is the vision that you have started Prodevans, and this is the mission you are going to take ahead, and you are taking it. Yes.
Yep, means for us, like solving customers' problem has been, the mission statement, right? And vision is to be one of the top niche skill organization, in the world, especially solving the infrastructure problems using developers' mind. So that's the, and it is possible when you are equipped with great talent. And I'm very lucky, I'm the luckiest guy, always been surrounded by technical people around me, and they are the young talent. And when they walk up to me and say that, okay, you talk about so many complex things, Deepak, because you have lived that life for ages. How is it possible for us? So I tell them to have patience and learn certain things gradually, with the challenges which you come across, but try to solve them through that basic principle. Try to solve through a code, config, version, and manage it, pretty well. So if you're doing that, I think we will be that niche skill organization. And I always tell my customers that don't treat my employee as a commodity. They are the talent. So you treat us as a partner, and what we bring to the table is the right attitude. Right, it may happen my employee do not know 26 skills which you have put, but my employee know 5 to 6 skills, but he can adopt those 20. So that's what I convey to my customers even.
Yes. And I guess you were just talking about why to cultivate these skills. I guess I was attracted to this second point, grow as a leader, because I am the believer of that you are not a successful leader until and unless you create more leaders. Because the primary objective of a leader is to create leaders and cultivate those skill sets that you have learned, accept open mistakes that you have committed, because others should not create the same mistakes again, because we don't have so much of time to repeat the mistakes one after the other. So what is your take on the skill sets?
Yeah, means for me, Gaurav, it's like, um, I would say that every employee should be a leader, right? Means it's not like um, you should be looking up to only one leader, right? Okay, leadership is something which must be developed in every employee. So I wish each of my employees should grow as a leader, right? And you should earn the assignment. You should not be go and beg or demand for it. You should earn it, right? For example, I have watched somebody solving a problem, and the project related to that, a bigger project related to that should come. So if you touch any one employee in my organization, might have solved at least 3 to 4 projects in a year time. And these projects are absolutely complementing to each other and may not be in the same technology. And when you do this, when you earn and deliver it, obviously you earn that respect among your peer. Because what makes you feel good, pride, is that respect, right? People walk up to you, and that's then you become the specialist, right? And what scares you the most is becoming irrelevant. You feel insecure, and you don't share that. So how to remain employable in the digital future or culture, that you should always check. And Gaurav, I just shared you that DevOps self-assessment. It's a self-assessment tool which I developed with help of a developer, to make sure that every quarter at least you check and see your score. There is a spider report, like medical report you get. Okay, it actually gives you a spider report, and see that how many fives or fours you are getting in that spider. So more outer, on these 7 areas or 8 areas, you are better in those DevOps, both in culturally as well as technically.
So the link
But
is also in the chat. I'll put down in the description also, and you can also see it
And
right on.
you can do it as many times. And I don't share this data, or nobody will bother you. The data is very, very private, but it's a self assessment you can do time and again. I felt, and this I developed 3 years back, because every time I used to talk somebody, and it was difficult to deal with a customer, not knowing what is the maturity level, right? So you can use it.
And I guess talking about Prodevans, I still remember whenever each and every single time when I have visited the Prodevans, or when we are trying to do some community works, the key part that we have always discussed is that how much willing you are to take the risk. Or even if I have to talk about learn to collaborate with the teams, because I see that when in the industry somebody new tried to put down a words, they have been always challenged that don't take the risk, don't try to learn something new, what you have done is something good, keep it to yourself, don't try to collaborate, and more important is just focus on the problem, don't try to go here and there. So what is your take on these three primary skills that you have always cherished, that be willing to take the risk, be in a collaborative way, focus on the real world problem, how it makes the life easier?
Uh, See, means these are the one which I always tend to see in every intern or every employee join my organization, right? By the way, I wanted to confess here, Prodevans was started with 12 interns, and many of them are on a very big, good corporate career today in just 3 years. And every year we take about 30 interns, because that's the capacity which we could hold. But we tend to train as many as possible. So what happened, when I felt the need of right talent, uh, and it was difficult to get it from the market by having the buying skills or buying power. So we may have cash to buy resources, but we don't get what we want. It is better to nurture people. So these are the basic things which we nurture among people, right? Means take willingness to take the risk. So many people, have frightened, that this thing, that okay, I may not be able to do this job, Deepak. Can I do something which I am very comfortable with? So you keep, motivating them, keep, giving them that focused approach to pick up something which is little riskier, little unusual, little that Robert's, second path. And without collaboration, means you should be able to talk to anyone in your team or outside, to get the problem solved. And collaboration is a skill which you have to learn. And especially, young talent, you get a lot of ideas, and these ideas need to be delivered at one day, right, or at one point. So learn how to convert a large idea into a minimum viable program, MVP, and
Yes.
deliver that. So it could be a prototype, it could be a mini version of your great idea or big idea, but learn how to deliver, because no one is interested in your, journey of 6 month, 3 month. I would say never ever set a product goal beyond 90 days. If it cannot be done in 90 days, it cannot be done, right? No matter
Exactly.
how creative you are. So these are the things which we actually felt, realized, and most importantly, the communication skill, right? um, we are in a country where diverse, especially large population of young people come from tier 3 cities onwards, right? Okay, because the tier 1, tier 2 cities, they are already exposed to the world, right? So when I deal with employees coming from those small towns, small city, uh, teaching them, expressing their ideas, presenting what they have delivered. Some guys, they deliver the best, but they lack presentation, storytelling. So that is also something which we have felt, and we have incorporated in our internship program. So we have designed our own internship program, and we have partnered with them, in a different way. So we partnered with Red Hat to get the curriculum from Red Hat Academy, because we didn't wanted the internship program to be costly. We have made partnership with my training organization to get this certification, so that we understand that, okay, we have certified resources with us, and that becomes a confident statement in front of our customer. And we have these ingredients of skill development, project management, presentation, code hackathon, giving them a platform to code, the DevOps skill set. So these things are ingredients of our internship program, and that has been working fantastically well. So I'm very happy that every year we are able to add 20 to 30 interns, and those interns become a master in 2 years time. So the career roadmap, which gives them that almost 100% jump, 100 almost 100% jump year on year. And that has been a good success for a company like Prodevans.
Right. Now, talking about this means I'm quite excited. And for all the people, if you want to get in touch with the Leap 4.0 program, which is happens to be an instructor-led live virtual training internship program, you will get all the resources that are being certified by the content from Red Hat. I guess the course is helping them to get the certification. So you have a whole bunch of industry experts training you out, right? So let's take few of the questions from the audience also, because they are quite interested to hear from you what they should do and how they should approach. So Indrakant has one question for you, which says that what is the correct way to get started with DevOps? Should I learn the skill first or cloud first?
Yeah, you should start skill. What is that, skill first?
I guess skill first is, according to me, Indrakant. Is if he is referring that talking about Linux, database, or the DevOps tools that we have, something like that.
Okay, so Indrakant, is very easy. Don't settle by launching a EC2 instance in AWS and calling yourself as a cloud engineer. You are not. So learn a whole bunch of Linux, system operation and system development, stuff. No matter whether it is your home PC, or on a bare metal server, or on the AWS cloud or Azure cloud. So I would
Mhm.
say that both fundamental foundation on cloud learning is the mantra.
Absolutely correct. So Kshitiz has one question which says, what kind of DevOps opportunities are available at Prodevans and how to apply further for it?
Okay, so currently I'm hiring people who has fundamental understanding of Linux. I think I have defined the fundamental right from bootloader to all the way to firewall or IP tables. So fundamental understanding of Linux, and a decent programming skill set like Ansible, you know so solving any infra automation stuff. So that is DevOps. So I'm not expecting you bring 20 different technology. No interviewer will ask you chef, puppet, salt, and this thing. But if you have one among them, let us say you have already worked on puppet or Terraform, and you don't know Linux, sorry, Ansible, we are still okay. So
Right.
one of the infrastructure automation programming, because it is DevOps, and the fundamental foundation knowledge of Linux. That is something which we are looking at, and willingness to learn the other things.
And also,
We
Kshitij and
address.
others, I have put it down the Prodevans link in the description, so you can go down and check all the open opportunities which are there. And I guess
Yes.
they can write down to ask at prodevans.com, right, for any
Yes,
other
yes,
opportunities and if they
yes,
want to share.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. And we are currently hiring. And please have patience, because we take some time to understand your profile, and when we interview, we get back to you. And that doesn't mean you will stop your learning. Continue your learning while somebody is getting back to you, positively. How is it going? I just wanted to add that, when you're preparing for Prodevans or any company, right? Make sure that you keep three things. Keep your profile on GitHub. um, get certain coding examples which is being coded by you, on GitHub, and get prepared well for your foundation, which is Linux. If you're a RHCSA or RHCE, fantastic. But I will not regard you if you have just cleared the exam but you lack on the fundamental skills.
Yes. And also, Kshitij has one following up question saying that C++ after Linux, AWS, Ansible, Docker, Jenkins, Kubernetes. What to do next?
So you have done all these cities, then you just come and work with us. uh, and as I said, between now and whenever you join us or any company, because I would be glad hiring you right now. But go back and check the fundamental ways how Kubernetes work. Can you solve a Kubernetes running problem? How Jenkins work? Can you solve a deployment delivery problem? How a container work? Ansible, what coding standard you are using? Compare yourself with some industry standard. So revisit all this. Don't pick up 200 different things. So I think Gaurav did clarify in his last or few weeks back. Don't be in a rush of that world record holder. Stick to the ground, and I think you have already taken a good collection of technology. Just prepare well.
I want to give a big shout out to Kshitij and team, the team called Dot Question Mark, for bringing up a great work. So very soon they are also teaching some young minds. They are even the students, so I know them personally, and they have recently get in touch with me, and they are doing an amazing job. So
So it
moving
is
ahead,
congratulations, and if you have teaching as a passion, please help me. And that's the best thing you have. Good.
nice. So Abhishek has one question. Can you please guide us on cloud native computing?
Okay. That's very interesting, Abhishek, because when you are doing the cloud native programming, you should look for those um, um, 12 factor, right? So how to make one application cloud native? Gaurav, if you can share one of our last Red Hat webinar which we did. and we did talk about all 12 factor and the ingredients to make an application cloud native. I think that would help um, you know your community here. If you
Abhishek,
can
you can
share
reach
that.
out to me offline, and for other viewers who are going to watch it later, I'll put down the link in the description. So from where you can find out all the 12 key
Yeah, so
ingredients of.
it was I think almost a 2 hour session,
Yes,
and I'm sure you would like it if you go through the complete session. But we did talk about 12 factor, how to make an application cloud native.
right. So I'll reach out to Abhishek. Just reach out to me on any of my social media platform, whether it is LinkedIn or Twitter. The link is also in the description, and I can help you with that. Soham has a question: is it necessary to follow a roadmap for DevOps? Because there are many roadmaps which suggested a specific path.
Okay, means it's actually I would treat roadmap as a path, and it's not like okay, you need to touch every stone on your path. So Linux, certain scripting skill. When I say scripting, try to optimize, the resources which you are using on your laptop or on the cloud. Try to learn, optimizing those things using a script. Pick up some very few skill set of little of database storage, and automate them. So everywhere you try to optimize or automate every resource, because these are the power across the cloud, right? Okay, the compute, network, storage, and database. So when you have understood these periphery around your systems, and you automate, try learning deploying an application. Learn deploy an application without automation, then with automation. uh, then you can call yourself as a cloud engineer, and keep doing it. Keep doing it in different ways. Means like, you might have seen a cricket practice session, right? Okay, they don't ball only a specific you know prescriptive format. So the challenge is, when you deal many during your learning, you will get to see those real world solutions coming through you.
Definitely. So I hope, Soham, you have the clarity now. We'll take the last question, which says from Shruti, which says how to change automation to DevOps.
Okay, I don't know why you think automation is not DevOps. First is DevOps is a mindset. Bring the developer mindset in an operation engineer, or bring the operation mindset in a developer. So traditionally, developers never wanted to handle the infrastructure by themselves. So they were always dependent on an infrastructure engineer. Similarly, the infrastructure engineers never bother to do developers' work, means automating an environment creation, deployment of an application, rollback of an deployment, or solving the day-to-day problem through this development method. Um, so if a person is able to do these things using automation, you can take any industry standard automation practices, then you can call yourself bridging the gap between the developer and operation. So automation is the basic principle in a DevOps engineer, no matter it is fall in which category, whether it is compute automation, storage automation, database automation, network automation, security automation. um, DevOps is all about automation.
Right, right. So just on the lighter note, Monu has put it down a question. As a fresher, can we get a job in DevOps? I guess we are talking about DevOps openings.
um,
So guys, please feel free to reach out to prodevans.com, and you have all the answer to one solution.
yeah, so if you bring the fundamental foundation skill set of Linux as a fresher, we are always willing to hire. If you don't have that, then please contact the LEAP program. I think Gaurav can
I'll
share,
put
or
on the description.
you leave your contact, and one of our mentor will definitely help you. I'm willing to help as many people as possible, to get them employable, but we cannot hire more than 30 people. Uh, Rest get hired by the other industry.
Right. So on the lighter note, we are on the top of our hour. So what I want to request you to give some piece of advice to all the people who wants to step into the industry or who are working in the industry. Just final few words of wisdom for all of us.
Um, First, in a journey, you don't forget why you started. Always know your roots, or your origin, and the reason, I would say intent, why you started this journey, whether a journey to become a DevOps engineer, or journey to become a cloud engineer, or journey um, to be the best friend, or best son, or so. Know why you started, and don't give up. If you face a complex challenge, don't give up. Look up to a mentor, and see that if you have the right mix of people around you, and always make an attempt to have right mix of people around you. When I say right mix of people, not only the people who are right or left, but you should have the mix of people around you who can actually give you the right perspective of the life. And if you have a mentor, fantastic. Always look up to a one or two or a couple of mentors in your life. Focus on solving the problem. If you are customer centric, customer facing for an organization, focus on solving the problem. Don't only tell the problem. Even in an organization, most of us, we try to bring problems, right? But we don't bring solving, the problem attitude. So focus on solving the problem attitude. Always your customer or your manager will be appreciative of your work. And don't lose faith in yourself. Come on, means we could overcome such a pandemic, so don't lose faith in yourself. If you have faith in yourself, you can conquer the world. So those are a few things which I personally have applied, and it really helped me.
Okay, so that is so nice. Means talking about working on your basic skills, clearing up your basics, be a mindset with specialist and journalist, like specialist and the journalist, journalist and the specialist, and whole bunch of knowledge around talking about how you can take the collaborative approach to be a successful leader, how you can be a leader, and many other things. And what I can only say, thank you so much for accepting my request on the behalf of entire team. Cheers with Gaurav. We really want to thank you. We look forward for more interactive like sessions. Many a times, whenever we reach out to Prodevans, I guess their doors are always open. So cheers to openness and cheers to Prodevans. Thank you so much.
Cheers, Gaurav, and you are doing an amazing job. I want to congratulate you again, and thank you for guiding so many young mind, giving them the guidance. I think it's a noble cause you have adopted. Very little or less people, without any commercial gain, you are doing this. All the best to you, and
Thank,
anything if I could be of help, I'm always for you. Just count me.
thank Thank you so much for being with us, sir. Have a safe day. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
for all the viewers, I'll be again back with some more exciting session to make you more understand about DevOps technologies, life learning skill sets. Keep doing the good work. Keep sharing the smiles to somebody's face. And more importantly, like, share, and subscribe to Cheers with Gaurav. I'll see you with another exciting session lined up very soon. So please don't forget to press that bell icon. Stay safe. Enjoy your Sunday. Bye bye. Thank you.